a little bit about cross-marketing, because you do have the 3 different divisions. I know I love using the spa dollars and taking people on tour when they first come in and market. And so what is your process? Do you find that most people come in for a day spa first and then go to your Medi Spa, or do they come as a Medi Spa first and then go to day spa and salon? What do you find as your best lead generation? In which department does it fall into?
It's kind of a mix, because we were a Medi Spa first. So it's, I guess, we have a larger client base, guest base than any of the other sections. So, it makes perfect sense that, and, of course, Dory's trained me very well, to be to cross market. And of course, it's in my best interest to promote the other, services that are available, for our guests. And, every opportunity we have, where each one of our team members provide a little cross marketing special, maybe they're offering, and we pass those out. I pass those out to the guests that I've seen. Same thing. I'll give them something from me to kind of give us a little special deal or whatever. And one of the things that we find that works really well for us too is that on their first visit, we provide a new patient packet to all of our guests. And within that packet, we have a menu of services. We have a welcome sheet. We have a bio. I credential myself, in there. Yes. And in our waiting area, we also have a nice frame that credentials me. But then we credential all of our other team members as well. Their expertise that they do. And in our package, we have a menu of services. We just have everything at their fingertips, and it's in a nice folder that they can take home with them. And I really, we also provide a spa buck in there for them, a little $25 spa buck that they use on their next visit. So, the day they come in, they receive a service. And so it's kind of to get them back in the door again. And maybe take advantage of another service. If they come in and have gotten a facial, if they come in and gotten Botox, we encourage them to use the $25 maybe on a massage or on a facial or, other things that we do provide. I still find it interesting because those clients that I've had from, when I first went into business on my own back in 2009, I guess, it still kind of blows my mind that they look at me and they ask, y'all do massages here? And I just kind of scratch my head. I'm like, where, you ask yourself, where did I miss? Or where did I miss? What did I do wrong? Because I question myself if we haven't done a good job in letting everyone know all the services that we offer. And we've offered massages for, 6 years now, and they've been regular guests here. And I'm, how did we miss that? Or where did we miss that? And there's a couple of points that we try, and keep everyone's, we'll do little blackboards, little signs throughout in the elevators we ride, because I'm in a 2-story office, and my building is 2-story, and, the day spa is located downstairs and takes up that whole area. And as we ride up to the med spa, we try and have some things posted in the elevator, in the bathrooms, where their captive audience is, wherever we can. So, we just try and, let everyone know. And I think the wonderful thing with Dory's, with Inspiration Management, with the Facebook posts and with the newsletters as well, she kind of forces you to focus on everything, as well, all the services that you offer, and to advertise, or at least to continue to educate. And that's a big part of what we do. We have skincare experts here and try and educate on the services they provide, or massage therapists as well.
Very good. What type of lasers do you have now, Cindy?
We have the Cyton, the Jewel platform that does pretty much everything. It's a really nice laser. It laser hair removal, IPL, BBL. It does profractional, micro laser peel. We also have, we have the, I'm going to draw a blank here. You kind of get brain dead sometimes. We're looking at adding, we have the Zerona right now, which is a cold laser. And we're looking at possibly upgrading that to the Verjus, which does a little bit more and works on cellulite. We also have the BTL Vanquish Me, and it's radio frequency. But that's been very, very successful. I have to say, we've had really good results. So, and I'm not bashing if, it's a nice, I actually prefer it to cool sculpting. We haven't had cool sculpting, but in looking at the two, it's worked really well. We've got really good results. Doesn't take as long, that kind of thing as well. And, we have some we have 2 hydrofacial machines. We have the perk machines. We have microdermabrasion. We have the Eclipse tattoo removal because we don't have the particular laser that removes, but we do, a dress tattoo removal with the Eclipse pen. Trying to think of, we offer pretty much a wide variety of a lot of different things. We don't do surgery here.
Yeah. The thing is, when I go speak at the AM Spa conferences, they're mainly doctors that are thinking about maybe opening up a Medi Spa. And there's usually laser companies exhibiting. And the one thing I see all these guys do right away is go and spend tons of money on lasers, which just blows my mind before they even open their doors. So what I would like you to discuss here, if somebody is thinking about opening up a place, what would be your advice? Should they just go and start with only one laser and focus on things like Botox and fillers and maybe MiraDry or Kybella or all these injectables that you can do where you can still make a lot of money? So what would be your professional advice to people like that?
I guess, my professional advice would be to do what I did. And the fact was I started with no lasers at all. I started with very basics. I think you have to build a client base. Just because you may be having patients in your practice, if we're talking to physicians, you have patients in your practice, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be wanting these services from you. You kind of have to build a base for that depending on what your practice is. I think you need to have what I call basic tools in your toolkit. And I think starting out without getting so much in over your head and making sure that it's something you want to go with. I think you need to go with the Botox and Dysport. I like to offer my guests a couple of different options. Some people do better with one than the other, and to offer some fillers. And I think just starting with that, if they want to add on a team member typically most physicians aren't going to want to do microdermabrasions and those kind of things. I think start kind of, you yourself do the Botox, the fillers, and then kind of grow a client base. And when your guests start asking for more, I think to me, that's the cue that it's time to add on when they continue to say, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? Interestingly enough, one of the things that's really brought in our guests, and it's kind of interesting, we do spray tanning. We do a humongous business in spray tanning here.
Interesting.
And it brings in, and it's a very, low, it's very inexpensive, I guess.
Right.
So it brings in a wide age range. And because, sometimes, I having worked in healthcare, we used to always talk about loss leaders. Hospitals would provide services they really didn't make any money at, but they provided these services because it brought in clients that would also take advantage of the other services they offered. So I think that's one thing that starting a new business, you need to look at something that you may not make a lot of money on or make a lot of money with, but it's something that's going to expose you to a lot of different clients that's not going to cost you a lot of money for advertising. I don't do printed ad. I don't do radio. I don't do TV. Ours is mainly word of mouth. And I think, exposing yourself by offering, those types of services that are, not super expensive, but that'll expose you to a wide variety of clients that'll tell their friends. And, our guests are more than happy to refer their friends and family members in and,
Well, and the important thing that you have going for yourself too is the fact that you have your book on your website, you have opt-in opportunities, you're generating leads from online because when people search, they're finding you because, again, you improved your positioning and you are the expert in your area. So people find you very easily online. And that's a great way to generate leads without having to put ad in the magazine or radio or TV. Frankly, I don't like any of those mediums because they're so expensive and they don't really produce a lot of results. And between online presence and word of mouth and education, like hosting these events and speaking, like you were talking about earlier, I think those are so valuable, a great way to generate leads and get people to know about you. Very nice. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about testimonials and, how do you get that word of mouth? How do you encourage people to go and talk about you? Maybe we can explore that a little bit. It's all about results, right? And when you you said something to me one time about it, because, we always laugh, especially we were at the aesthetic show, like she just mentioned. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the aesthetic show or not. These are all mostly plastic surgeons, all medical professionals. And sometimes they just, we standing at our booth, and Cindy and I are looking at each other for some of the people that were so overdone passing by us. And the one thing Cindy told me is the best injector is somebody that can inject and have the face look natural and not know that you actually had something done, right?
Correct.
So it's all about that result. Why do people go crazy, by the way? Why do they do that to themselves?
I really think they look in the mirror and they maybe don't see themselves. I'm getting to body dysmorphia and stuff like that. But, and Botox and fillers have been proven to make people feel better. And so I think they come in and they go in and they think the more is better, the more they do, the better they'll feel. And I think that's kind of part of it. And that's, but you have more people coming in asking you, I want to look better. I want to feel better, but I don't want anyone else really to know that I've had anything done. So that's the challenge, of doing that is keeping them natural looking, and not overdoing it. And I'm also one of these people. I'm very cautious. I tend to, be very conservative, and I think that tends to serve me well. I always tell them, let's start out, and of course, a lot of people will train, and in particular companies, our vendors will push to do 2 syringes, let's say a filler. And I'm one of those, let's put 1 in, let's let you get adjusted that you can always come back and add an additional 1. And, and as a provider, you have to temper that desire to, if I put 2 in, that's more money for me. So I think you have to keep in mind that you need to do what's best for the patient, best for the guest, as opposed to what's best for you as a business. Because if you keep that in mind and you treat that individual like they were a family member, if you treat them very conservatively and you don't overwhelm and push them, because you don't want them to have buyer's regret is another thing. You don't want to push so hard on the front end. I think that, that serves you better by being conservative, by saying, let's take baby steps. Let's not take this giant leap. And I found that for the majority of my guests, that works best. Now you do have those that come in that want more is better or is never enough. And you have to know when to say no. And that's really important. And I'll, I can, have about 2 or 3 that are guests that are like that. And my guest services people come and so call and they want an appointment. I tell them I'm not seeing them. They're insisting. I said, tell them they'll come in, and I'll come in and I'll tell them, no, you have to wait. And I'll give them a timeline. I'm not going to do it.
You can't have any.
Exactly.
Not yet.
And we do.
But you know what, though, Cindy, because, I'm all about maximizing revenue and all that. But if you overdo it, then they're going to go, and then their friends are going to see that they don't look good. So here goes your word of mouth. Right. Instead of underdoing it, looking natural, and then they say, oh, well, you got to go see Cindy or whoever they went to, which is, I think, more valuable. So you have to be careful with that. So let's talk a little bit about your team and maybe some of your challenges that you've gone through. Last year, I know, was an interesting year for you guys, everybody in your area. And I have to tell you, I was so proud how you went through all that and came out on top. So why don't we, because some people think, oh, I have this going wrong and I have this going wrong, but they haven't seen anything what you've gone through. And still made it. So let's inspire them. Let's inspire them a little bit.
And it's still going on. I'm still not back in my home. So
that's true. That's true. You're still waiting on your house.
Right. Yes. Our area, number one, has had some economic downturn. We're pretty much an oil and gas driven industry here. And with the, economy, it slowed down. So we had that challenge, to deal with and to fight with. And then a year ago in August, we unfortunately experienced some severe rain, and we had severe flooding. Myself and one of my front our guest services members were flooded out of our homes, and I'm still not back in mine. It's still in the process of being remodeled. We had to completely gut it. So you have the challenges, and it's hard being displaced from your home. And continuing to function and continue. And it's not just it's several of your guests, your clients. Yeah. They're experiencing it. The majority of those are back in. I have one of my, clients that are still, they essentially bulldoze their home and are rebuilding. So we still have several people dealing with that, but it is what it is, and we all have to go on, and that's the way it is. And we all have those things in our lives that come up, and it seems like, this year has been an exceptional challenge, personally, from that and other things going on, because we all have children, we have grandchildren, and, but if we let that overcome and overwhelm us, and I guess the nice thing is I have a great place that I get to come and enjoy. It's a passion. It's something that I love, something that I enjoy doing. I don't look at it as a job. I look at it as something that's fun to do. I enjoy coming in every day and working with my team members. Team members are always a challenge. I don't think it matters where or what industry you're in. There's always going to be some challenging individuals. You build a really good team and you have it all put together, and then they decide they're going on to greener pastures, and you work so hard to coach them and to train them. And, but then, you find another opportunity, you hire an even better one. One door closes and another opens. And that's pretty much, if we've lost a really good team member, we've been fortunate enough to, find a team member that's even better than the one that previously left. And, but, again, I think we have special challenges in this business. I turned 60 this year, so I have a difficult time relating to the millennials. So you have to find someone that can do that. And fortunately, I have, daughters that are millennials that keep me well grounded and keep me straight. But, you have to have team members that can relate to all ages. I can relate to certain ones, and I've added, one of my daughters is a nurse and is getting ready to complete her nurse practitioner. So she's come in one day a week and is, helping with Botox and all with some clients. So we're catching, to people that are my age, but then she's addressing some of the younger people. And the same thing with our estheticians and massage therapists and our other team members is I think you have to be aware of what's going on in the world. And I think fortunately for me, having worked in the mental health industry, is that you're pretty accepting and open, and being in healthcare, most of us are, pretty non-judgmental, and, because there are some very interesting individuals that come through our practices. And, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that, don't judge the book by its cover. A lot of these people spend a lot of money and, are great clients, and that's a nice thing. But